Bismillah, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulihil Kareem, amma ba'd. My dear viewers, today I shall explain the iddat of a widow, waiting time for a widow after the death of her husband. If we look back in the history and even in our present time in some countries, the situation of widowhood is a deep problem in various communities, and a lady becomes from she to it. In some cultures, even today in 21st century, when a lady becomes a widow, her head is shaved in India and she becomes a desexed creature. Her life becomes a living social death. Various blames comes to her. She is prevented sometimes to attend some family functions because she is a widow. And there are many other problems with widowhood. And in India, there is a city where thousands and thousands widows go to live, and they worship just Krishna, and they live in the hell of widowhood there. Before Islam, widow had no rights. She used to be share inherited, as the inheritance will used to be transferred and the widow used to be transferred just like a substance. Allah Almighty blessed the mankind with the blessing of Islam and made Islam a religion of mercy. And Islam relaxed these traditions, terminated them, gave better rights to the widows. We as Muslims, unfortunately, sometimes are not aware of the any teachings from Islam about a widow. So therefore, here I shall try to explain the iddat of a widow, waiting period for a widow. In Jahiliyyah, before Islam, pre-Islamic time, in Arab culture, when a lady would become widow, she would withdraw herself to a distant, remote place where she would stay in a hut or something for a year. She would not be allowed to take bath or change clothes, just to stay and live there. But Islam gave better, flexible, honorable teachings and rights to the widows. In Islam, if a lady becomes widow, her waiting time is 4 months and 10 days if she is not pregnant. In case she is pregnant, her waiting time is until she gives birth to the child. It could be days, could be weeks, and could be months. Could be longer than 4 months and 10 days. But for a pregnant widow, her waiting time of the Iddah is until the baby is delivered. A widow must stay at home in her husband's home. She should not go out without any reason. Yes, she may go out for the shopping. She may go out if she wants to see the doctor. If she need to do some type of personal buying for her personal uses, she is allowed to go. If there is nobody to help her out, she is allowed to go, perhaps daily basis, to buy her substance for her household, for her children. And a widow will not wear fancy clothes or fashion clothes. She will not beautify herself during this Iddah period. She will not use any types of perfumes except when she purifies herself after the monthly cycle, menstruation. She is allowed to use sort of fragrance to get rid of the smell of the blood. She is not allowed to wear any types of makeup, eyeliners, kohl, lipstick, but she is allowed to use moisturizing cream, oil, shampoo, soap, and she is also allowed to take shower bath every day, and she may wear any type of color of the clothes, clean, tidy, new clothes, but simple clothes. And she will not wear any jewelry. If at the time of her death she was wearing jewelry, she should remove all the jewelries from ears, nose, or from neck or hands. And she may go out to the office for her benefits or pension. If she is working lady, she may go to her business, to her office. If she is government servant, working in a hospital perhaps, she may go to see the patients and fulfill her duties, and she must return home at night. She must stay night home. And this Iddah, this waiting period, is same for all ladies, young, mature, aged, even very old. And even if her wedding is consummated or not, she has to spend this Iddah waiting period 4 months 10 days, and in case if she is pregnant, until the delivery. And she is allowed to visit her parents, and she is allowed to move her home in some circumstances. For example, if she lives abroad with her husband, where her husband used to work, and he dies, and now she lives her own there, nobody is there to look after, and then she is allowed to return to the country. And if the house is on rent and the rent agreement is going to expire, it is unextendable, she may move the house. And if she lives in an area or house is in an area where she doesn't feel safe, secure, and there is a threat to her safety, then she may move to a safe place, to her parents, or to hire another place to live. And as for the Iddah, when it begins, Iddah of a widow begins with the death of her husband, not with the news. Because sometimes news may be later, days or weeks or months. But as soon as husband dies, the Iddah, the waiting period of a widow, begins immediately. Even if she comes to know about the death of her husband weeks or months later, and Iddah will be counted according to the lunar calendar with the Islamic dates, Islamic months and Islamic days that will be counted. And these are the teachings or rules of Iddah for a widow. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to right path. Look after yourself. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.